Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to do another New Wave Toys adding to my collection, and today we're talking about the M90 Micro. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech, going for a brekkie is the gaming tech, is the gaming techie.
So this is the Micro Edition, like I said. I'm actually thinking about picking up the bigger version as well once I see it on sale. But right now I got the Micro first because I got a good deal on the Micro and wanted to at least get my feet wet, see what this kind of looks like as the Micro Edition, and then, you know, get the big one eventually later for display purposes and stuff. Anyway, these things are obviously Bluetooth speakers for those of you guys who don't know. So the big one would obviously have better sound and stuff like that, which I can use for, you know, while I'm playing board games that require sound and stuff like that. So here is the first thing here. We got the M90 Micro. We got the box here as usual. And then we got a box inside of a box, as we usually do. But this box is actually cool, and I'm actually going to keep this one because this one actually looks like the actual mini-scale version of what this box would have looked like if you got one of these M90s back in the 80s when these came out. So this is really cool. It really has the exact same look as what it would look like there, as you guys are looking at. Really, really cool. It's got the orange tape on the back, on the top there, just like it would have if you got this, you know, back in the 80s now, which I think is super cool. So I'm going to open this here pretty carefully so I can get in here, and because I'm definitely going to be keeping this box for sure. Open that up, open up the flaps here, and as usual you got the foam here at the top that they put in here, and then right here we got a chain for it. You can see that there. And then here is the Micro right here. Definitely Micro, definitely really small, but still really, really cool in my opinion here. Here it is right here. It's got a little New Wave Toys, like little banner right here. It's got the nice little handle here. Nice little antennas here on the back of it that you can actually pull open, which we'll do in a minute. But you guys can take a look at that there, how micro this thing is compared to my hand right here. These are definitely really small, but it definitely is really cool looking and really, really detailed. It's got this blue sticker at the front that I got to remove. So we'll put that there to the side. That's how obviously it should look. But it's really, really detailed and really nice looking, this Micro Edition. Again, most of the buttons don't actually function here. Cassette drawer doesn't open or anything. They do on the big one. On the big one that actually lets you mess with these. The only one that it works with here is the actual volume control, which is a little bit hard to actually maneuver and stuff. But that is, you know, something that's like the only button I believe that's on here that actually works when you move it around. The bigger one has like the FM radio tuner and stuff like that. This one is specifically just a Bluetooth speaker, the Micro. The other one, the bigger one, even has an FM tuner, an AM tuner, so you can actually listen to the radio and Bluetooth. And some of the buttons work because of that, because they obviously need to, you know, tune the FM radio and stuff. So this one's just the volume button. But I really like the look of it. Really like how everything is laid out, how it definitely looks like, you know, the one in the 80s. Has a pretty good heft to it too. It doesn't feel cheap in your hand. It's got the power button there on the back, and of course the charge button there as well. And then of course it comes with the USB cable right here, as you would expect for it to charge. We're going to actually just leave that right in the box, because I'm not going to need that because I got so many of those laying around. And then what's really cool is it comes with this little Micro service manual, which I think is really cool. That actually gives you like the service manual on how to use it. But the front cover of it, as they usually do with other products, will actually be the front cover of what the original manual would have looked like. Of course, when you open it up, you got the manual of what it looks like, you know, based on this Micro Edition, so it actually shows you how to use it. But what's really cool is that the front cover of these things, that whenever they do a manual, is actually what it would look like if it was the real manual. So that is really cool, and I really, really like it. So let's go ahead and see if this thing has any juice when you power it on, because it does make a nice noise when you turn it on. That reminds you of this M90 from back in the day. I'm sure you guys heard that, and it is lit up because you can see the little blue light on the back, and it's spinning right now waiting for Bluetooth connectivity. So let's go ahead and connect this via Bluetooth and get a closer look at this so we can, you know, see what this sounds like and stuff. Alright guys, so I have my iPad here that I'm connecting, as you can see here. It pops up as the Micro M90, so I'm just going to go ahead and connect to it. You can see it makes that noise when it actually knows that you're connected to it, as you guys just heard. Now I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to have to play a song that's, you know, a regular song that's not going to get me copyright striked. So let's see what we can find here. So you can see I have the volume raised all the way up on my iPad, and now that's how it sounds, but you can turn this little knob. This is the only knob that's functional, this one up here, and you can actually turn it and put it all the way up. And this is surprisingly loud, I'm not going to lie. For a speaker this small, this is pretty loud. I don't know if it's coming apparent into the video, but I'm surprised at how loud it actually is for something this small. It sounds pretty good in my opinion for a speaker of this size. Yeah, in my opinion, it definitely sounds pretty good. You can actually feel some bass on the back too, which is pretty funny. I can feel the vibrations on the back from the bass of the song, which is pretty cool. So yeah, this is pretty surprising. I'm trying to put the volume lower because I know some people have complained about this because this has been out for a while, that there's some hissing in the background from these things, and that was their only real complaint on these things. And that's kind of a thing that happens with all Bluetooth speakers, that if you have it at low volume, sometimes you can hear like a small hissing sound in the background. I'm trying to listen to it now, and I'll let you guys listen to it too right against the speaker, but I don't hear anything. Maybe I got a newer model. I know that they upgraded with some firmware that made things a little bit better, but I'm not really hearing anything that I don't usually hear. Now, even if I pause the audio right now, I'm still connected to this thing, but I pause the audio, it's silent. I don't hear any hissing or anything. I'm sure you guys don't either. Yeah, there's no hissing or anything. And then again, if I blast this up again, I had this at medium volume. I'll go even lower. I'll put it really low. I'm putting it up to my ear and I'm not hearing anything either. So I don't know if it got fixed via firmware or I got a new version or something, or maybe I'm just terrible at hearing it, because I know some people out there have complained about it. But I'm not hearing it. I think it sounds great. I think it sounds like any other Bluetooth speaker that I've had, but just surprising in how loud it is just because of how small this thing is. Again, rocking this all the way up. Just like this one here. It sounds really loud and really surprising. So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get into my final thoughts on this thing. I think this thing is freaking awesome, especially if you were a fan of the M90 back in the day in the 80s and you like the style of this radio. To have a miniaturized version of it and the look of it, I think this looks fantastic. Like I said, even the antenna goes up, even though it has no actual function because it's not a radio, but just the attention to detail, how loud the speakers get and how great it sounds, in my opinion. I think it sounds pretty good for a small speaker. My expectations aren't very high for a speaker of this size, and I think it sounds pretty good and much louder than I anticipated something like this actually being. So I think it's fantastic, and I'm not hearing the hissing that some of the people out there complained about. But again, maybe I'm just bad at listening for it, even though we did try, and I try to give you guys a representation of it as well. But yeah, this is really cool. I'm really excited. I might get the big version as well, just to have them. I'd love to do a comparison video on both of them. And I know obviously the sound is going to be better on the bigger one, and they have the FM radio on it as well, besides just the Bluetooth that you can use on this one. And it has a couple more buttons that actually function, and the cassette drawer actually opens and you can put a mini cassette. So I might get the big version just to kind of have both of them. But this is really cool to kind of have as a shelf, as a collector's piece, and you pull it out when you want to have a little Bluetooth speaker. And this is perfect for like a board game. Like if you're playing this and you want to put it at the table like I would, if the game requires sound and stuff, this is plenty loud for something like that. And I think it's fantastic and it looks great. So I think New Wave's toys hit it out of the park as they usually do. So guys, if you guys have any questions about this thing or any questions at all, as always, leave them down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.